Okay, it says use a quadratic function to model the area of the rectangle. Remember, area is base times height, or one side multiplied by the other side. So in this case, it would be 3x plus 12 times x plus 2. And remember that when you're doing this multiplication, you need to multiply everything in the left parentheses by everything in the right parentheses. So let's start with our 3x. 3x times x gives us 3x squared. And 3x times 2 is 6x. And then 12 times x is 12x. And 12 times 2 is 24. And so our function, which we're just going to call in this case a of x, area based off of x, is equal to 3x squared plus 18x plus 24. And that would be the function part. Fairly easy. It's in standard form instead of vertex form, but we can still find the vertex. We should remember that the vertex is equal to negative b over 2a. And in this case, a is 3 and b is 18, so that's going to be negative 18 over 6, which is equal to negative 3. And that's just the x component of our vertex. We still need the y component. So to get the y component, we're going to plug negative 3 in to our function. A of negative 3 is equal to 3 times negative 3 squared plus 18 times negative 3 plus 24. Negative 3 squared is 9, so we have 3 times 9. Negative 3 times 18 is negative 30, negative 54, and plus 24. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 minus 54 is negative 27. And negative 27 plus 24 is negative 3. So our vertex, in this case, is at negative 3, negative 3. Our axis of symmetry is at x equals negative 3. And we know our y-intercept in this case because from standard form, our c value is our y-intercept. When x is 0, c is all that's left. Right? 3 times 0 squared is 0, 18 times 0 is 0, so that leaves us with 24. So we have a y-intercept. I'm going to put this up here at 24. There's our y-intercept. And then our vertex, I'm going to put at, and the scale on this is going to be off, and it's just kind of so I can graph it really more than anything. Because that's 24, and somehow this is negative 3. So that's negative 3, this is negative 3. Our vertex would be right here, and we're going to have a parabola going up like that, and going up like that, something like that. Somewhere around here, we're going to have 24 again. We could figure out what this is, but it wouldn't do us, I mean, it's not really helpful information. Okay, so this is the information that you need. You need to be able to sketch a graph and find the vertex. Now we're talking about the area of a rectangle, and the graph represents the area of the rectangle. So the smallest area that you can get would be negative 3. However, I challenge you to make a rectangle with an area of negative 3. Well, it's easy. You just have to have an x that's negative 3, and then that would give you one side that is 9 and another side that, 3, and another side that was negative 1. So you just need a side that's negative 1, which you can't do. So really, all of the possible areas start at the y-intercept. You can't have, well, actually, yeah, because you can't, well, okay, so that's not true. Sorry, I should reiterate this. All of the possible areas are going to be past this point. So, and that, even that's, we can talk about that, but because if you have a side that comes out negative or 0, that's not going to work, right? And actually, if it comes out 0, so this would be -2 on the x, because that makes the whole thing 0. That's a different problem. Anyway, so it has to be greater than, x has to be greater than -2, otherwise you can't actually get an area, not a real one. And then it goes on up from there. When x is 0, the area is 24, and it just keeps going up. Anyway, from this problem, what you need to be able to do is find the function, that a of x equals 3x squared plus 18x plus 24, and be able to sketch a graph. If you use a graphing calculator or Desmos, it's really easy. You just put in the function, and it'll graph it for you, and it'll be beautiful. But at least on the final that you have to take, you don't get to use a graphing calculator or scientific calculator. You can use, but not a graphing calculator, and you can't use Desmos. But also, you're not actually going to be required to sketch anything, so that's fine. I think that's enough for this video.